Imagine having Grok sitting right there in your PowerPoint, just making things easier.
Easier, perhaps. But now the real question is how much of our daily workflow we're about to have to redefine just to keep up.
Welcome back, I'm Bella.
And I'm Michael. This show's scripted and produced with AI, built by Taha Baba, pulling today's stories straight from blog.tahababa.com.
If you want these landing in your feed most days, go ahead and subscribe. Let's get into it. So Grok 4.5 isn't just a performance boost. It's being dropped directly into our daily tools, like PowerPoint and Excel. That level of integration feels like a huge step toward making AI truly useful.
It's less about the raw intelligence and more about accessibility, which is strategically interesting. Embedding the AI into the core productivity suites means it stops being a separate application and becomes a workflow element.
Exactly. It bridges that gap between advanced AI capabilities and the actual work people are doing every single day. It removes the friction of having to switch between separate AI tools and the Office suite.
From a business perspective, that seamless integration should lead to faster adoption. But the real question is how teams will adapt to managing that level of embedded automation.
That's the big challenge, isn't it? How do we train people to leverage these integrated tools fully and avoid disruption as AI becomes foundational? Grok 4.5 is hitting some really aggressive pricing targets, $2 per million for input and $6 for output. That seems like a massive shift in the market.
It certainly is, Bella. The focus on cost efficiency is clearly becoming a decisive factor for companies scaling their AI solutions. Token costs can quickly escalate, so that competitive pricing makes advanced AI capabilities much more feasible.
So it's not just about the raw performance anymore. It's about making the technology accessible to more teams.
Exactly. It shifts the conversation from simply chasing the highest benchmark to finding the optimal balance. When organizations select models, they have to weigh performance against the financial outlay.
That makes sense. So ultimately, what criteria do you think businesses prioritize when selecting an AI model?
I think it really boils down to whether they are optimizing for performance, cost, or ease of integration, depending on the specific project they are tackling.
Grok 4.5 is really pushing the envelope, outperforming competitors on those major coding benchmarks like DeepSWE and SWE Marathon. That sounds like a huge leap for reasoning capabilities.
It certainly is, but the real kicker is that SpaceX AI is backing those claims up with strong evidence across several different tests. Benchmarks are becoming the only way we can truly measure that superior reasoning and efficiency in complex coding tasks.
So it's not just anecdotal. It's validated performance in long-horizon tasks. That makes the difference between a flashy demo and actual, reliable AI assistance for developers.
Exactly. For tech teams, that validation translates directly into more reliable assistance when dealing with complex workflows, which is far more practical than raw performance scores alone.
It makes you wonder about the future of AI evaluation. How important do you think these kinds of third-party benchmarks are for the average user evaluating AI tools?
I think they are increasingly critical. Without standardized metrics, it's impossible for businesses to objectively differentiate between models and determine which one offers the most reliable power.
A $53 billion bid for PayPal by Stripe and Advent. That is absolutely staggering, Michael.
Staggering, yes, and it immediately sets the stage for some colossal integration challenges. They aren't just buying a company, they are trying to build the largest payments platform in the US.
And that brings up the risk side of things. Are we looking at massive debt load or just a chance to consolidate the market structure?
Both, I suppose. The potential for consolidation is huge, but the potential for operational risk and integration friction is arguably even bigger.
I wonder how this all ties into the future, especially with AI-driven financial agents becoming more prevalent. Will this acquisition slow down or accelerate payment innovation? So Google just dropped a dedicated finance app for Android, complete with AI market insights and portfolio analysis. That feels like a huge shift in how we interact with money.
It is a significant move. They are leveraging their massive data sets to directly compete with established financial platforms by bringing personalized analysis to the average user.
I wonder about the personalization aspect. Being able to upload your holdings for analysis sounds incredibly convenient, almost like having a financial advisor right in your pocket.
Convenient, perhaps, but that also raises questions about the responsibility of that AI. It positions tech giants not just as information providers, but as active decision makers in personal investing.
Exactly. It makes me think about the broader trend. How much control and insight will these large AI entities have over the everyday investing experience going forward? I just read about Kalshi launching prediction markets tied to clinical trial outcomes. It sounds like they are trying to give traders a way to isolate specific biotech events from the noise of the general stock market.
Precisely. They are trying to offer clearer probability signals by focusing on specific FDA decisions rather than broad stock performance. It's an interesting attempt to apply market mechanisms to highly regulated biological data.
But that brings up the inherent risk, doesn't it? If you're dealing with drug trials, there's a real concern about insider trading or the potential influence on how trials are conducted.
Absolutely. That's where the challenge lies. The platform has added safeguards like employment checks, but figuring out how to maintain fairness and guardrails in such a sensitive industry is the real hurdle.
So the big question becomes, how do we ensure these prediction markets are leveraged responsibly, rather than just becoming another arena for speculative risk?
It really boils down to establishing robust regulatory boundaries. If they can successfully create transparent, fair systems, it could be a powerful tool, but the oversight has to be impeccable.
Databricks just hit a staggering $188 billion valuation in a new funding round, which really highlights how central data infrastructure is becoming to enterprise AI.
It certainly does. That valuation underscores the fact that they aren't just selling software. They are selling the critical foundation required for organizations to manage the complexity of modern AI data.
And they are focusing that money on specific tools like Unity AI Gateway and Lakebase, trying to make that transformation accessible to more companies.
Exactly. When you look at the overall picture, the core challenge remains how companies can effectively turn that raw data into a strategic asset rather than just a storage problem.
It really frames the entire conversation around infrastructure. If the plumbing isn't right, the AI strategy falls apart.
Precisely. It's a reminder that the platform itself is the key to unlocking that enterprise-wide AI transformation.
Wow, a $10 billion compute lease deal between Meta and Anthropic. That sounds like the ultimate AI arms race happening in the cloud.
It certainly does. It signals that the bottleneck isn't just the models themselves, but the sheer physical resources needed to run them, which is exactly what we see happening with specialized AI infrastructure.
So this isn't just a simple partnership. It feels like Meta is making a major strategic pivot into the commercial cloud market by leveraging this kind of massive compute access.
Precisely. It underscores that for enterprises, securing reliable, scalable compute power is now the single most critical factor for staying competitive in the AI-driven future.
It really puts the focus back on infrastructure. How do you think other companies are going to respond to this kind of concentrated resource access?
They'll have to rapidly evolve their internal infrastructure strategies just to keep pace with the demands of next-generation AI applications.
All right, team, let's hit you with the final rapid-fire round of AI and finance news.
Here we go. Citadel Securities invested $400 million in Crypto.com.
40-plus finance and tech companies launched the X400 and 2 Foundation for Native Web Payments.
85% of London finance professionals expect AI proficiency to matter for promotions.
Visa launched a stablecoin platform for cross-blockchain payments.
Visa unveiled an AI financial assistant for banking apps.
Global fintech funding grew 23%, despite the number of funding rounds dropping.
Coinbase is shifting base focus to financial infrastructure.
Charity leaders are to be granted seats in the House of Lords.
Save the Children is evaluating its stance after Carestarmer's social media post.
Hugging Face AI model repository was compromised by an AI agent.
Cloudflare deployed new WAF protections for 2 high-severity WordPress vulnerabilities.
Canva launched Code 2 for building interactive web assets.
Clipping emerges as a viral content manipulation technique.
Anthropic's ad campaign leans into dystopian themes.
40% of long-form LinkedIn posts are estimated to be AI-generated.
Intel partners with ASML for next-generation laptop chip manufacturing.
Apple reportedly seeks AI chip acquisitions.
Scale Computing CEO discusses AI-driven IT modernization.
Microsoft releases Ontology Playground open-source tool.
Postgres 19 switches default toast compression algorithm.
Ernst & Young disclosed a data breach after a support system hack.
Perplexity launched space runtime for AI agent tasks.
Anthropic is limiting premium Claude access to 50% usage for Max and Team Premium subscribers, starting July 20 due to infrastructure capacity issues.
Alibaba previewed Qwen 3.8 Max, a 2.4 trillion parameter AI model, with plans to release it as open-weight software.
xAI's next model, rumored to be a 2 trillion parameter model, is claimed by Elon Musk to outperform Kimi K3.
Morningstar called Kimi K3 a potential DeepSeek moment, suggesting it could drive significant cloud computing investments.
Samsara announced AI agents for physical operations, 360-degree cameras, smarter fleet maintenance, and disposable shipment tracking labels at Beyond 2026.
ACT-2, a home robot by Sunday Robotics, demonstrated folding 778 garments across 785 attempts in unfamiliar homes, moving closer to a reliable product.
That's today's show, scripted and produced with AI by Taha Baba.
You can read the full write-up anytime at blog.tahababa.com. And if you want these landing in your feed most days, hit subscribe.
See you next time.